What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who haven't heard about this, there is a rumor right now going around that Tim Hardaway Jr. is almost but certain about to sign with the Miami Heat in free agency. Of course, a couple months ago, we heard that he was very interested in joining Miami, and they were very interested in signing him. But today, it is reported that Tim Hardaway Jr. would absolutely love to sign with the Miami Heat this offseason, and this is all being reported by Greg Sylvander. I think that's how you say his last name. But hey, this is going to be one of the ones where you could almost nearly pencil this in that Tim Hardaway is going to be signing with the Miami Heat. There has been a lot of rumors that this Dallas Mavericks team could be falling apart. Like, there was reports saying, by Kristaps Porzingis and that, by him reportedly saying that, Luka Doncic, there's a lack of him passing the ball, etc. And then there was videos kind of exposing, I guess, what people were calling it. Luka Doncic, of course, just not passing the ball and taking contested shots when he had multiple open players. That happened a couple times. There was reports saying that some coaches and players are unhappy. We recently saw that Ricola actually handed in his, resignation for him to part ways. He's now playing for coaching for the Pacers. I believe there might be a couple other shifts that happen here and there. There's rumors that Jalen Brunson is going to try and leave in free agency, as well as reports the Knicks are interested in him. Things are kind of falling apart for the Dallas Mavericks for a lot of weird reasons. Like, I know Luka Doncic sometimes doesn't pass the ball, but I think that will take, time. He will learn about some of those passes that he needs to make. It's just, getting that court vision up. Sometimes he just doesn't see the plays. Like, you can tell it's not that he doesn't want to pass them, he just doesn't see them, which, again, some players would see them, but some just don't. And Luka's kind of one of those guys. It is a very hard thing. But hey, he will develop it over time, so I don't think it's really too much of a concern. But I think it does make sense for Tim Hardaway to maybe look for potentially to leave. I believe the Dallas Mavericks have started to bring him off the bench, and I think now that he knows that he'll probably be a bench player for most of his career, it's probably time now that he goes and tries and wins some Sixth Man of the Year awards, and I definitely think he can try and do that on the Miami Heat. Again, the Miami Heat are going to have one of the most interesting cap situations in the whole entire NBA, where they, I believe, have Trevor Ariza, who's on a $12 million, he's on a $12 million contract that will be, declining, so he will be a free agent, so that's $12 million spare. Andre Iguodala, I believe, was on $17 million. That's declining. That's $17 million spare. Victor Oladipo, I believe, was on $22 million. That's $22 million spare. And Goran Dragic is on a $19 million team option. That will also most likely be getting declined. So that's another $19 million. So all up, you've probably got around $60 million or so to splash out in free agency and do sign and trades. We saw them. They signed Miles Leonard, to a $10 million offer, and people were like, why would they do that? He's definitely not worth $10 million. The reason they actually did that was to make a sign and trade, so I wouldn't be surprised if they brought back, certain players on, $10 million contracts just to do sign and trades for them. I could definitely see them doing this situation with Tim Hardaway, where they, might bring back, Trevor Ariza on a 1 year, $10 million contract, and then another player on a 1 year, $10 million contract, and then add in a first round pick or something like that. Then trade it to Dallas for, of course, Tim Hardaway on a sign and trade. Again, in my opinion, Tim Hardaway is probably going to be wanting around $20 million a year, which I think is, a little bit bad by his standard, because I think because he's been on such a big contract for so long, he's been on $20 million for 4 years in a row, and in the first couple of those years, he was not worth the contract. But now that contracts have gone up, and of course he started playing a little bit better, I think he ended up being worth the contract in the end. But now that he's had a lot of money, I think he should actually go on a pay cut, to really get to a team that he wants to go to. If he wants to go to the Miami Heat and, finish off his father's legacy with trying to get another championship or something like that to the Miami Heat, that would be absolutely perfect for him. But he's probably not going to get there if he's wanting around $20 million a year, because the Heat already have so many of these players that they've got to pay. They want to bring back Duncan Robinson. There's reports teams are going to be offering him around $20 million. I believe he'll sign with the Heat on about $15 million. If you don't believe that Robinson will get $20 million, basically a lot of teams have capped this year, and there aren't exactly too many stars. So a lot of these, role players are going to be getting paid a lot of money. And I could definitely see, Duncan Robinson, because of how good of a shooter he is, getting quite a fair bit. So he'll probably re-sign the Miami Heat on a little bit of a pay cut, though, on around $15 million. I think Victor Oladipo will come back on about $23 million. He can't expect a max contract. Hasn't done anything. He's always injured, and he just got to the Miami Heat. I think he'll realise this, and he's been wanting to get to the Heat for a long time. So again, he'll probably be on about a $23 million contract. And then you bring in Tim Hardaway, I think, as well, through like sign and trade or whatever. Give him $15 million a season. He should take that, and he should know that, again, he being a little bit older now, and his father's legacy can be, added to it, really. And again, this is a team that he wants to go to. He should take, pay discount to try and get to the team that he wants to go to, is what I'm trying to say here. So again, there are rumours that the Heat are going to let so many of these players walk. So they're going to try and bring in veteran players. I don't think they're going to be able to bring in Kyle Lowry. I do think they might be able to bring in a veteran point guard or another good playmaker to come off the bench. There's reports TJ McConnell's looking for a new team. I think he's more of a small market type dude. But hey, let's just use him as an example of a player they could get. If they get a dude like TJ McConnell, you could be looking at a starting five that looks like Oladipo at point guard, Duncan Robinson at shooting guard, Jimmy Butler at small forward. I'd probably say Trevor Ariza at power forward if they keep him and don't sign and trade him. And then Bam Adebayo at center. And then off the bench, you could have like Tim Hardaway, maybe like a TJ McConnell. Tyler Hero if they keep him. There's reports they might want to trade him too. Precious Achua maybe, and they'll probably bring in a veteran center like Dwayne Dedmon again. So, yeah, this Heat team, I think it will be better next year. I think once they get off all the injuries, this team could compete for another conference finals. But I think they need to get an all-star maybe to be like a confirmed conference finals teams, because of course Philadelphia will be back next year. Maybe bigger and better. And, we look at the Bucks, they'll still probably be good next year. And yeah, so many other teams, Brooklyn as well, so many teams, the Hawks, there are a lot of teams on the rise as well, so it will be really interesting to see how this, of course, all goes. If you haven't already, make sure to just leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest NBA content and sports-related content. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/vlogging channel. Don't forget to check out my podcast as well if you haven't already, which I will link in the description down below. And of course, don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions on this down below as well. Do you guys think Tim Hardaway will join the Miami Heat, or do you guys think there's a chance he might re-sign with the Dallas Mavericks? Again, I would really like to know all your thoughts and opinions on this down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.